#NewsCenter, or tweet me at Betty M. Kialo. Joining me in studio is Martin Andati. He is a political analyst. Thank you so much for joining us, Martin.
Thank you, Betty.
So now, is NASA the most credible outfit yet to challenge Uhuru Kenyatta next year?
Well, the opposition guys are trying to come together. And
Trying?
Yeah, their efforts, because it started with Musalia. There were talks between Musalia and Raila, and you saw them going out together in Laikipia. Then now you can see Kalonzo has come on board. And Wetangula was not there, but he was ably represented by his deputy party leader, Senator Boni Khalwale. So I think they are now coalescing together. And if they are able to agree on the issue of the candidate, I think they will send Jubilee home, or they can very easily force a runoff. And if the election goes into a runoff, chances of Jubilee winning will be very slim.
All right, so finally, this seemingly is a reality that all these outfits will come together. But looking at the numbers back in 2013, if you put together Mudavadi's numbers and Raila Odinga's, they still have a bit of work to do to get to the numbers that Uhuru Kenyatta was able to gain in the election.
Yeah, Uhuru won, Jubilee won the election with 50.03%. And the combined opposition had 49.97. So, that included Martha Karua,
yes,
and Peter Kenneth. The two of them had about 120,000. They have crossed over to the Jubilee side. But, there is a lot of discontent in the Jubilee strongholds. There are actually serious fears that there might be voter apathy around Mount Kenya because of issues of corruption and issues of the economy. The economy has not been very well handled by Jubilee.
Right.
And people are out there asking. When they compare the things that were happening during Kibaki's time and now, people are feeling disillusioned. So most of them are asking, they have no business turning out to vote. They might not turn out to vote for the opposition, but they'll also not turn out to vote for Uhuru. So those fears are very genuine. And you saw the president in panic mode.
Yes.
And they were running all over.
That's what you describe as panic mode?
It is panic mode.
Okay.
Yeah, you could see, for once, the opposition now seems to be driving the agenda. And you could see the trips were hurriedly organized in Mount Kenya, and then the challenging aspects of Rift Valley. So you could clearly see that the president is in panic mode. And you also saw it during Jamhuri Day. He was talking, and the confidence seemed to have evaporated.
Really?
Yeah, you could see it. The body language speaks a lot.
Okay.
So there is a genuine fear that if they are not careful, the opposition might win if they are able to put the act together. I know there are issues about the candidate, but chances are that they will settle on Raila. Before
we get to the candidate, where did Jubilee, lose the ball? Because, like you mentioned, seems like the opposition is seemingly, driving the agenda. Where did it lose the ball, if it did lose it?
One, there are issues in terms of how they have managed the economy.
Okay.
Yeah, serious issues. Across the country, people are feeling disillusioned. The cost of living has gone up. Kenyans have very little money in their pockets.
Right.
They started too many projects, and most of those projects are supposed to be long-term. And the projects have taken most of them. And of course, most of them are being started as a conduit of getting kickbacks. So they have drained money from the economy. Some of the projects which were supposed to be done in 2020, 2025,
right,
you can't start them now, because you grow gradually. So they took so much money and put in some of those long-term projects. And those projects are not earning much. They are not giving us back a return on investment immediately. So that has caused a problem. Two, there are serious allegations of corruption.
Yes.
Every other day, a new scam is coming up. And people around Mount Kenya and Rift Valley were initially not believing it. But suddenly they have started believing what Raila is saying.
Is there anything that can be done to change that tide for Jubilee Party?
Before I come to that, there is also a problem in Rift Valley. Ruto has mismanaged the politics in Rift Valley. And you remember when they were going for elections in 2013, the likes of Isaac were his serious foot soldiers.
Right.
Now he has problems with the likes of Isaac. He has serious issues with the likes of Zakayo Cheruiyot and most of the KANU orphans. You know, the KANU orphans control serious money. So he has locked them out of government and out of power. So they are feeling disillusioned. They are not very comfortable with Raila. But if they are going to hit at Ruto to stop him from getting the presidency in 2022, that will have to happen. So there are those issues. But in terms of trying to salvage themselves, they can still do it. But they'll have to try.
With a few months to the elections?
Yeah. You know, what is likely, they'll try to see if they can reach out to maybe one or two of the opposition fellas. Kalonzo seems to be very determined to stick in there. Now, I know they'll try to make serious attempts to try and reach out to Wetangula. Of course, Wetangula has been very unhappy with the way Jubilee has handled them. And you know, when Ruto goes out there and derisively talks about the opposition leaders, the guys don't take it kindly. So it becomes very difficult, even if you want to reach out to them, for one of them to walk out so that it causes a problem, it reduces the opposition numbers.
Right.
It becomes very difficult because he's been looking down upon them and laughing at them, you know. Two, they must work out on how to reorganize their backyards. The president must do more. You've seen, I saw the story we are running about the chaos in the Jubilee nominations.
Yes.
You know, nature boss a vacuum. And you cannot form a party and then you say you have no officials. You only have the president and the deputy as the party leader and the deputy party leader. So you can see now what is happening in the formation of the interim officials, because there's a big vacuum. You know, nobody is providing leadership.
Okay.
And I would have expected when the president formed TNA, he brought in Akina Sakaja and Onyangolo. They were novices then, but you see they did a very good job because there was no vacuum. Now he forms a party, he leaves a vacuum. So it's free for all, and you can see that tells you the nominations will be chaotic, and people are even bound to lose lives, you know.
All right.
So
hopefully not.
Yeah, we hope not, but you can see the scenes that are playing out. You see, those are interim officials. It's not even about the nominations, and the nominations for the seats would be, the competition would be, it will be very aggressive because the stakes are very huge, you know.
Right.
So you either get it or you are out, and if you lose, there is no party hopping. So if you have lost, you wait for 5 years. So what they could, what I know they are likely to do, they will try to, the president maybe can go out to reach out to Western.
Okay.
There is a lot of hostility towards the DP in Western. There is also a lot
But he's been trying to make inroads there, but...
no, he has been trying to make inroads, but he sends the DP there. The DP cannot crack Western. There is too much hostility towards the DP in Western and Kisii, for obvious reasons. You know, the issues of post-election violence. There was the belief that Ruto had a hand in it. And it's a problem in Kisii. If the president goes to Kisii and is able to sit with the people and understand the local dynamics, he'll get some support. Okay. The same with Western. Then he can dispatch Ruto to Coast, because Ruto seems to have a very good rapport with the guys at Coast. He avoids Coast because the historical issues will give him a problem in Coast. Then I know what they are like.
But hasn't Ruto been really trying to make inroads, you know, in the coastal region?
Yeah, if he sends Ruto in Coast, Ruto will crack it. But if he goes to Coast himself, it will not work, because he has problems. The historical injustices, the land equation and whatever. The perception is that the first Kenyatta regime is the cause of that problem. So if the president goes to Coast, he will not crack it. But if Ruto goes there, he will be able to crack it. Then they must now, the two of them, sit and try to solve the problems in Rift Valley. All right. They have got to reach out to Gideon, because Gideon has clearly said that KANU is supporting Uhuru's re-election. So why would the DP be antagonizing Gideon? Because you know, this is like a polygamous marriage. Okay. You let live so that you are able to exist, you know. You need the DP, but you also need Gideon's support. Okay. And then he handles, they also try to reach out to Isaac, because if Raila is able to get, if the opposition is able to get some votes from Rift Valley, then these guys will not win the election. Okay. Yeah. Let's come back to the issue of voter apathy. Because if they are not very careful and there is voter apathy in Mount Kenya, then the election either goes to a runoff or the opposition takes it. Will win. All right, let's talk about NASA. Now that, you know, it seemingly is a reality. Is Raila, are we going to see a Raila, you know, putting out a Kibaki Tosha, endorsing somebody else, or is it going to be him taking up the flag bearer ticket? I don't see Raila endorsing anybody, because You know, in 2002, the circumstances were different. NAK, which was composed of Ford Kenya, DP, and SDP of Ngilu, had come together and they had agreed on some formation where Kibaki was supposed to be the candidate and Wamala the running mate. Then Ngilu was supposed to come in as prime minister. So when there were problems in Kanu, then the Rainbow Group bolted. They had no choice. They wanted Musalia to be their candidate, but Moi managed to lure Musalia back to Kanu. So they ended up not having a candidate. That time, Raila Odinga was not a very serious player in the national political scene.
Okay.
2, he didn't have the serious networks he has built now. 3, he had also not raised much money. Right now, he has raised money. He has very serious local and international networks. Then he has built a very serious stature. So I don't see him endorsing anybody. And what is likely to happen is he will try to negotiate. Maybe they retain Kalonzo as a running mate. There has been talk that they wanted Musalia to come to Nairobi as governor, but I think that has been shelved. They are now talking of, you heard even Kalonzo say yesterday,
yes,
they will create the post of prime minister. So they are likely, if they win the elections, they create the post of prime minister and maybe 2 deputies. So they see how to share them out.
Hasn't the Raila Kalonzo been, isn't it a done story? We've been there, done that, tried that, but it didn't really work. Would Davadi be a better running mate for Raila compared to Kalonzo?
If you bring in Musalia as a running mate, that is now the Western Bloc. That poses a problem. How do you accommodate Kalonzo? And the irreducible minimum that Kalonzo will take is running mate, because he stuck with Raila in the last election. I don't think he would agree to go lower. But, if you look at the tribal arithmetic, if Musalia was a candidate, it would make it very difficult for Jubilee to win the elections, because the Luhya bloc has 3.4 million votes.
Right.
The ones in Western are 1.6. The one out here is 1.8. So that is the only bloc which neutralizes the Mount Kenya bloc completely. So that the difference now remains, the Mount Kenya bloc is 3.5 million. This one is 3.4. So with Musalia candidature, that would basically rally the entire Luhya nation together. And that neutralizes Mount Kenya. But Raila is now growing old. So there is no way he's going to come in and talk about Tosha. 2, he will tell you, look at the numbers. Look at the numbers I got in the last poll. Look at the number of MPs I have as ODM. Look at the number of MPs I have as the number of senators, the number of governors. So that is bound to be his argument. Then I think he's likely to propose that they give him, he serves 1 term as a transitional president.
Right.
Then after that, he can exit the scene after he has tried to correct some of those issues. Of course, there will be a bit of haggling here and there. But when you look at Kalonzo, Musalia don't have very serious political gravitas. They have not been able to build serious
capitalize.
support.
All
Yeah,
right.
Currently, Musalia left UDF and went to NC.
Yeah.
He has 5 MPs and 1 governor. Raila has almost 100 MPs, then he has senators. He has, of course, the majority MCS, a single largest party. So you cannot ignore that.
All right.
But the issue is he is polarizing and he scares off. I don't know whether the Jubilee guys are likely to whip up emotions. You saw the issue of ICC coming back. We had thought maybe it was going, yeah, it's over. But you see, I think it was not very strategic for Raila to say that Ruto and Uhuru should have been in prison.
Okay.
Because that is what they used to whip their support in Central and Mount Kenya last time. So they are likely to try to whip up emotions. And of course, the Raila phobia. They go out there, tell the people in Central, Raila has talked about the land equation in Masai Land. So if you people don't vote for me, then you are going to be evicted from land you have bought. Of course, most of those fears are not true.
Okay.
But what is likely to happen, Raila is trying to reenact 2007. That is what he's trying to do, to try and build some form of Pentagon. I'm sure very soon you are going to see Ngilu on board, because they still need Ngilu.
Okay.
Ngilu delivered close to 110,000 votes in Ukambani.
Is Ngilu likely to...
Ngilu is not happy because she is likely to be on board. Okay. Because, of course, she brings in the issues of gender. And Ngilu is also a fight on her own.
Of course.
Yeah, so that in exchange they can be able to agree. Maybe they give her the opportunity to run for governor in Kitui or she comes in as a cabinet secretary, and in exchange she puts in her support, because she delivered, she helped Jubilee meet the threshold. So trying to wish her way will not be very strategic for them.
And that brings me to my final question. Is it going to be a two-horse race, like, what the US, you just have Democrats and Republicans? I would like to see other parties really, being, in the run-up to, in the elections very actively, or is it going to be a two-party kind of thing?
That is most likely where we're headed,
okay.
Especially on the presidential poll. The parliamentary and the rest of the seats, people are likely to vote based on the strength of the candidate.
Okay.
But when it comes to the presidential thing, Jirongo is out there, he's talking of running, but he's doing very little. There's been talk that he's going to launch on 14th of January. But you see, launching is one thing, and moving the numbers is also another thing. So the way things are shaping up, it's likely to be a two-horse race.
All right.
Unless, but the Jubilee side has intelligence. They also have a central bank. Don't be surprised to see us having another YK92, but this time it will not be YK92. They might come up with such an outfit. And of course, coming up with such an outfit, of course, with a band of intellectuals for hire, who will try to show up the Jubilee numbers. But it comes with scandals. If you see such an outfit coming up, then be sure we'll have another golden bar.
There's something.
Yeah, so you guys in the media need to be very vigilant and help us.
We'll be very vigilant, Martin. Yeah. Thank you so much, Martin Andati there. He is a political analyst talking to us about the latest political intrigues in Kenya. Of course, we're just months away from the general elections in 2017. Thank you so much, Martin, for your time.